Hello YouTube, this is Tylax Sensei here, and I'm about to give a quick deck profile on Lightrays, Lightsworns, Time Lord / Gear Town. And starting it off with Ancient Gear Dragon. Please forgive me because I can't pronounce really half these names. Well, I can, but I'm just a person that sucks at that. Do forgive me, YouTube. I'm new at this. I will learn for you guys, alright? Just chill down. Ancient Gear Dragon, and as I go for the deck, you can obviously see the Gear Town, so I'll get into later about that. Then we got the Lightsworn Angel, very useful card. Mill 4 to destroy up to 2 cards, pretty good. The 2 Veilers, drop them, negate whatever you want, pretty much how it works. Lightsworn Monk, very useful against, especially if you go against empty jars. You just return their morphing jars, whatever Sagans, whatever they throw down, and they try to trap you. This card saves you. The Lightsworn Warrior, pretty good card with any of the other Lightsworn cards, really. You just wait into the end phase, have the Lightsworn effects go off, and then he goes off right after them. And for every Lightsworn that goes to the grave, he draws a card. Pretty simple. Ghost Ship. There's a lot of underuse for this card, but I think it's very well used in this deck, because since JD, Lightray, Dalius, they both require 4 different names. If you just have that, well, 4 different names with Light, 4 different names with Lightsworns. If you just have like that extra Lightsworn, you're like, eh. Or that extra name for Dalius, you just remove one for this, you get your 1900 beater. And you can keep it out for synchros or exceeds. It's level 5. It's pretty simple. The card that should be in every light deck, Honest. I don't know why you wouldn't put it in there. Jane, Lightsworn Paladin, very useful out of the Lightsworns. Gain 300 during damage step only when she attacks. Game changer for the Lightsworn part of the deck. JD, pay 1,000, destroy everything but this card, etc. End phase, mill 4, we all know what this guy does. The main guy of the deck, Dalius. Card can't be normal summon or set. Must be special summon from the hand by having 4 or more light monsters in the graveyard. Can't be special summoned and by any other way, so no monster reborn, Call of the Haunter, etc. And then once per turn, you can target 1 field spell and 2 other cards on the field and destroy them. What makes this card really unique and useful is basically take Gear Town. You can target this guy, destroy it, and 2 other cards your opponent controls. I don't know what else they control. They're Pulsars, because this guy kinds a 2600 beater. It only requires 4 monsters in the grave with different names, which isn't really that hard in this deck. And you pretty much trump everything. Get out your little dragon. Then we have our little summoner. The only reason I'm running 2 at the moment because I want the deck to be faster, so I stopped drawing these fools right here. If there's anything I hate, it's drawing these guys, and then I lose my solar recharges due to these guys. It's kind of a little bit of why. I may go back down to 1 to add a second Ancient Gear Dragon, because I fall victim to Bottomless Trap Hole a lot that I should, and I always see it coming. But I'm one of those players, guys. I'm not that good, alright? Next up, Lila, basically the MST in the deck. Pretty good. Lila is just good. There's really nothing you can talk about. Just put her in defense mode. She destroys 1 spell trap. Can't change her until the next turn. Mill 3. Raiko. If you don't play a Raiko in your deck, I'm like, it's just why? It's just a good card. Cephalon, the Ultimate Time Lord. This card can have a normal summon a set. This card must be special summoning from your hand by having 10 or more monsters in the graveyard and cannot be special summoned by any of them away. Same thing, no monster reborn, no Call of the Haunted, no etc. And then once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 8 or lower fairy type monster from your hand or grave. Its effect becomes negated and its attack becomes 4,000. Pretty useful card. If I did run another fairy, like say Judgment Dragon would have been a fairy, but we all know it's a dragon, etc. If I ran another fairy, I may run more of him, or just maybe exchange one of these. I'm not sure. The deck's not really 100%. This is just my version I prefer to play. And then the classical Wolf Lightsworn Beast. The only reason I want 3 because this card really, really hates me. If I draw open with this guy, I'm just like, it's one of those moments, guys. That's like, drawing him is the equivalent of drawing Monster Reborn while you have Necro Valley out for Grade Keepers. Then staple, Book of Moon. For this deck, this is kind of a staple. Oracle, staple. Gear Town, staple for Dragon. Golden Sarcophagus, pretty useful. Drawing into this first hand or late game, pretty good. It's just depending how I maintain the flow of the deck. Because usually if I draw into this, I'm always searching JD. Even though I do have Beckoning of Light, I like to search JD or Dahlias just to throw my opponent off. They're like, oh no, he runs Lightsworns, whatever. I gotta do this fast, and it's not gonna happen. 2 MSTs, I don't use 3 at the moment. I might put in 3, but I don't really, because I always run. Let me tell you right this, YouTube, if anytime you see my decks, usually I'm gonna run 43 cards because that's my safe zone. That's how I can run decks. And then Pot of Avarice, take whatever's in the grave, put it back in the deck, draw 2, simple. Triple Solar recharges. Just ditch Lightsworn, draw 2, mill 2. Just keep the deck flowing. Beckoning of Light, discard whatever I have in my hand, add the same number of light monsters in my graveyard back to my hand. Pretty useful card. Say if I lose both my JDs or both Dahliases, I have like 1 or 2 cards in my hand. Activate this, I can now bring back 1 of each or both of each, which is pretty useful. This card pretty much runs the deck because it doesn't matter if you lose your boss monsters, they will always come back regardless. Double Bottomless, it's a broken card, who wouldn't run it? 1 Solemn Judgment, the most brokenest card in the game, but the most valuable trap card staple. Now you guys notice I don't run Solemn Brigade. Why? Because 1, warning. Truth be told, I would prefer warning over Bottomless just because the monster just never hits the field. I don't get the worry about that crap like for Absolute Zero, etc., etc. But then again, Bottomless, the monster gets removed from play with the current decks nowadays. If it's a boss monster, you're not getting that monster back. Let's be real, it's not coming back. Now you notice I have a side deck. Usually I like to prefer you guys to ignore the side deck because these is what I put in, put back, build to make the deck how I do. Some cards I am keeping here like Mirror Force is a keep, the Shadows, Starlight Road, Thunder Kings. These guys I might just put 1 each instead of running double. But I'll get these guys. These, I'm just going to go into them now. Can't be normal summoner set like Dahlias, must be special summon from hand by having 5 or more light monsters with different names in the graveyard. Same thing as Dahlias, 1 more monster. Once per turn, I can banish a light monster from my graveyard to target 1 set card my opponent controls. They reveal that target, and then I can choose to put it back on the top of the deck or the bottom of the deck. Spells, traps, monsters, it doesn't matter what they place. It could be a field spell. If it's face down, Diablos, he can see it regardless. He's a 28 beater. Pretty good for requiring good for 1 more monster with very, very good effect. Because then you can basically control your opponent's top decking. And plus, this is the ultimate troll against those empty jars, which I find is funny. Then we have Guilford Lightray. Can't be normal summoner set. Excuse me. Must be special summons for your hand. Having 5 more light monsters with different names from the graveyard and cannot be special summoned no other way. Pretty obvious, that's how they all go. And when once per turn during evil player's turn, when a spell or trap card is activated, I can banish one warrior type monster from the graveyard to negate the activation, and if I do so, destroy it. And if I do so, destroy it. All face-up monsters must be a warrior type for me to resolve this effect. Now, let's see. Warriors 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless I start. I do have a Guilford version. I'll get into that deck later, though. Next up, yeah, I just have 2 Chaos Master, and for my extra deck, I won 1 Alley Justice Catastropher. Just like, it's just a staple, synchro staple. You should know this. 1 Decisive Armor. And a lot of people question why I run this card. The only reason I put this card in the extra deck, I could put like an extra Exceed or whatever. Only reason I like this card in the extra deck is 1, going against those annoying Chaos cards, especially the Chaos Dragons, this just annoys me so much. This guy trumps everything they will throw at me. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, be gone. Chaos Dragons, be gone. This guy trumps almost every card I will go against, and getting him out is not really that hard. If I put this back in the deck, I just need just the level 3s, 2s, not really that hard. 4, 2 Raikos. Well, the only reason I say it's not that hard because usually it's Ghost Ship, any other level 4, Veiler, level 10, bam, armor tank, crush everything. Black Rose, my field nuker. If I need to like change the flow of the game or sacrifice one of my own monsters to desperately get out Dahlias or JD, Black Rose is the card to go to. Rhyonic, staple of the deck, etc. Mistworm, same thing with like Decisive Armor. It's just easy to get out. There's really like no challenge there. You just get it out. Excuse me, YouTube, I'm slightly tired. And Scrap Dragon, Synchro staple, I believe, and I thank God it's coming out of 10. Which, actually, no, I'm pretty mad at it's actually coming out of 10 because it took me forever to get Scrap Dragon. Now, here it is, coming out of 10. I'm like, that's nice. Stardust Dragon, don't know why it wouldn't be in the extra deck unless you're running all Exceeds. It's just how it is. Gotchi, getting these Raikos out, it's not really that hard with Luna. Utopias, everyone runs these. If you don't, I think you're actually pretty smart, because the only reason these guys would ever come out is just the stall. They really have no other purpose being a 25 beater stalling, and then you're basically waiting. If you have 1,000 or less life points, you'll go immediately to Chaos Ray, just because, 1, your opponent may have that mind control, which has been floating around in most decks. Proton, let's be serious, this card's name is Assassin Butterfly. It's going to stay that way, that's how I want to call it, end of story. This card, this is a very beautiful card. We only need 2 level 4s, once per turn detach 1 Exceed unit, target 1 defense position monster, change it to attack mode, and if I do so, it loses 600 attack. With my JD, Dahlias, Gear Dragon, and basically any other card in this deck that's mainly used for attacking, it's just everything else basically trumps it in this deck. Keeper of Genesis, one of my favorite Exceeds ever, best card. Getting it out somewhat difficult, but then again it's one of those like decision plays. And then the classical wind-ups. I'm actually pretty glad this is coming into a 10-2, but I won't get into that now. That's the end of my video. Subscribe, like, tell me how I can improve, tell me about my sorry, tell me about my quality of videos. Do anything to help me. I'm starting new at this. I prefer help from anyone, big YouTubers, just fans of the games. I don't really care. As long as you can help me, I'll be grateful. I'll start doing shoutouts, etc. I know how most of that stuff works. I just need help on doing the whole process. Anything else would be wonderful, and thank you, YouTube.